So, Steeler Nation, this season, if you want to root for two teams, I perfectly understand because I'm doing the same thing. I'm rooting for, obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers and anyone who plays the Los Angeles Rams because this trade benefits us right here if all goes according to plan and my predictions go to plan. If the Rams are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. But then again, the AFC North does play the NFC West this year, but you get the point. What is going on, everybody? I am Mac, and I am back with another video on this Tuesday morning. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram. Links are in the box below. So, I really wanted to make this on Monday, but two things occurred. I mean, I was still kind of famished from my weekend this past weekend. I spent the whole weekend in Pennsylvania, and, you know, it's a 2-hour drive back home from there. And I literally got the news on this trade as I was walking back into my apartment. So I wanted to just unwind and just hold off on this a little bit. Then I thought about it more on Monday and looked more into it. And now I'm going to come on here and make my video. So, on Sunday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers announced that we were trading Kevin Dotson to the Los Angeles Rams, or Kevin Dotson and our 2024 fifth rounder and a 2025 sixth rounder, all that to the Los Angeles Rams in exchange for their 2024 fourth rounder and their 2025 fifth rounder. So basically now we have two of each of those rounds for the next two upcoming drafts. I don't really think this is a big surprise seeing what happened in free agency for us because I keep hounding the issue that we really fixed up the offensive line in free agency. So I kind of figured that at least one of these guys were going to be on their way out. I was hoping that it was going to be Chooks or Dan Moore, maybe Kendrick Green as well. But then I remembered Kevin Dotson. You know, when we drafted him, it kind of seemed like we were falling for the hype a little bit for him just because of some workout videos that he posted. And he initially made the roster for the 53-man for this season, but Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin both really liked the depth that we had, and it was kind of just the next man off the island kind of thing. And also, if you look at it, Kevin Dotson didn't play last Thursday against Atlanta, but I never really anticipated it, seeing that we were going to trade him. But, you know, with us, there's a lot that goes in between the lines. The writing was on the wall right there. So I guess it was kind of like, this is kind of like a signal that he's going to be on his way out. Now, Kevin Dotson, like I said, when we drafted him, I mean, he was a fourth rounder himself back in 2020. So I thought we'd give him maybe one more year, but, you know, 3 seasons was enough to justify the trade. But really, Kevin Dotson didn't have a significant role with us, and he was expandable. You know, he was being switched to left guard all that time when he started off at left tackle, and he didn't really work out all that well, which is a shame, you know, because he had some promise and some flashes in his rookie season, but it just seems like ever since he got switched to that left guard spot, it just hasn't been working out for him. But the return that we got, I think, is pretty good value for us because, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you're going to root for two teams this year, Steeler Nation, it better be us and anyone who plays the Rams. So you want to know why? Well, because the Rams, let's face it, all they have at this point is Aaron Donald, maybe Cam Akers, and an old, past his prime, banged-up Matthew Stafford, and Cooper Kupp. I almost said Amari Cooper right there, but that's pretty much all they have right there. They trade their whole farm, they trade their whole future, and they are just in the worst possible shape ever since that Super Bowl 56 victory that they've had. I've never seen, this is probably the furthest from grace that I've seen at least a defending conference champion have since the Raiders back in 2002, because the situation the Rams are in right now, they're like the complete opposite of us. They have no future. They have no draft capital. They're going through a rebuild. They don't have... All they have right now is just one guy for sure, and a couple of guys that need to step it up big time for them. And they just have nothing to look forward to. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the Raiders from back in 2002. The Raiders made the Super Bowl that season, got blown out of the water by Tampa Bay, and then ever since then, the Raiders have only made the playoffs twice. Am I saying that that's going to be the case for the Rams? No, I'm not. But I'm saying that's what it reminds me of. You know, it's just a team that's in rebuilding mode, and a team that just needs to feed off of scraps from other teams. Then you got us. We had a promising preseason. You have a smart front office. You have a smart GM. A guy who has done wonders for us over the years, making sure we don't go over the cap. And with this trade in particular, it actually frees us up some more cap space. So now next year we're in even better shape in free agency and at the trade, you know, with trading as well, because now we can afford a little bit more other than just hoping for the Rams to suck. So there's our plan B right there if the Rams have a half-decent season. But in my eyes, this is another steal for us, considering that we signed Isaac Seumalo and we got Nate Erbig, Nick's brother, who's also been doing wonders on the O-line as well. And it just brings us a lot of trustworthiness and veteranship onto that offensive line right now. And now another spot opens up. So for these next 13 days, however it is, until week 1 begins, I believe it's 12, 13 days, somewhere around that time. I know it's less than 2 weeks now. But the point is, we're going to have a little bit more of a competition to see who has that left guard spot. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But the very worst that can happen for us right now, at least, is that someone from our depth just shows that, you know, they're not capable of playing that left guard. We got the draft to look forward to. And the Rams, like I said at the beginning, it looks like, or at least I anticipate them to be one of the worst teams in the league this year. So if the Rams suck this year, that benefits us. We get higher picks. We were trading up in this draft for next year's and 2025's draft as well. So this could kind of be like a Chase Claypool situation, you know? Who'd we get out of that Claypool trade? We got Peasy Jr. out of it, man. And we ended up trading down. We ended up trading up with New England to snag Broderick Jones. So, in my eyes, this is another really good steal right here, and this is a good value trade. Omar Khan, man, he just continues to hit all these points of. He continues to just hit all these points of need that the Pittsburgh Steelers need to have in order to be the best version of ourselves possible. And, you know, I have to say, when we promoted Omar Khan to GM, I was like, another in-house promotion thing. I'm not the biggest fan of those. But this one, I'm really enjoying so far. It's a good capital for us. Helps us build off the future, especially if we have the season that I'm anticipating us to have, and the Rams suck. So, yeah, those are just my general thoughts on this trade. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is Mac. Check in on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.